Greetings and welcome to our daily Devo for the 24th of October, Tuesday, the 24th of October today. Yesterday, Jesus talked about the value of children, and maybe I didn't focus enough on how cute the little tykes are. But if you're a parent, you know they are valuable to you, and not from a financial perspective. But today, Jesus is going to talk on wealth. That's our Devo for today. Jesus on wealth. Matthew, Mark, and Luke, the big three, are going to be referenced. The verse that's quoted is Matthew 19:23. Truly, I tell you, it is hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. And that confused the disciples there momentarily. Most people among whom Jesus walked did not have the wealth of this man. So his conversation with Jesus provides a unique opportunity for us to hear Jesus speak on the topic of wealth. This exchange yields three important insights. First, wealth does not automatically exclude someone from heaven. We might get the impression Jesus is saying just the opposite. The wealthy man centers the conversation on the topic of eternal life, and Jesus tells him to sell all he has in order to obtain treasure in heaven. But if Jesus were insisting that wealthy people were automatically excluded, it would put him at odds with the fact that wealthy people like Abraham, Sarah, and Job, and Zacchaeus developed a saving relationship with the Lord. So why does Jesus speak like this? He's challenging the man's overconfidence. The question was, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? He's challenging the man's overconfidence by asking him to engage in a thought experiment. Would he be willing to go so far as to abandon the trust he had in his wealth? This is not the same as asserting that wealth is automatically disqualifying. Rather, it is quote unquote hard for someone who is rich to enter the kingdom of heaven. So hard, but not impossible. Second, wealth can nevertheless inhibit a healthy relationship with the Lord and so impair the quest for eternal life. Wealth can impart a false sense of prestige and power and security that makes it difficult to fully trust in the Lord. The story illustrates this in two ways. The first is with the hubris of the wealthy man who boasted that he had kept the law perfectly. He had kept the law perfectly, at least the parts of it Jesus mentioned. The second is with an illustration. Getting a wealthy person into heaven is as hard as getting the largest animal in the region through the smallest domestic opening. Who then can be saved? That's the question that the disciples want to ask, especially Peter. Jesus' answer, Mark 10:27, with man this is impossible, but not with God. All things are possible with God. Third and finally, Jesus asserts that earthly wealth has no direct relationship to eternal well-being. Peter wondered about this. He said to Jesus in Matthew 19:27, we have left everything to follow you. What then will there be for us? Like most others in the crowd, Peter was not wealthy. Would the advantages of wealth on earth transfer to well-being in heaven? No. Heaven is a place where the first will be last and the last first. I know a lot of people have questions about this. This man comes, he asks, what can I do? And isn't that a question when you're wealthy? I can get this done. I've got the money to pay for that. I can make that connection. I can give to this charity and do good deeds. And that would have been the Jewish perspective on this at the time. And it still for others, a lot of others today. I get into heaven by doing good works. Hence the question, what can I do? What do I do to get eternal life? See, that's the question that comes from somebody who can write the check. And that's what makes it hard. They have everything they need, everything they want, maybe. Maybe they're still looking for more, like, what can I do to add eternal life to my resume? And so they trust themselves. They're trusting that somehow the way the world works is the way the Lord's kingdom works. And if you got enough money, you can buy your way into it. Jesus says, nope. Let me ask you this question. Are you willing to be able to get eternal life and give up your money? Go sell, Jesus challenge, go sell all that you have and then come and follow me. It's a measure of the kingdom as far as what we put our faith in. Who do we trust? Ourselves? Our own ability? Our own smarts? Our own giftings? And that's what a lot of people do. Or on the flip side of things, we worry about not having enough money so much. We don't see the Lord as the answer in the right way. I mean, people will pray for, God, please help me. I need to pay the bills. But in the process, it's that money thing. Whether you've got too much or whether you don't have enough, from your perspective, it can be a dividing line on whether you're going to put your faith in God or not. And that's just the reality of how the earth works. It's of how so many cultures work. You're judged on how much you have and how much you don't have, and you see yourself in that way because that's your culture. And so do you forget God because you've got everything you already need? You don't need anything from him? Or do you curse God because you don't have enough? Your culture's telling you you're not worth anything. And it's hard to believe a gospel that's about God loving you. Money is the love of money, we're told, is the root of all, not just money, but the love of money is the root of all evil. And any way you flip it in people's lives, it often is a big determiner of faith and following Jesus. We trust the Lord to take care of us. Yes, we may not have as much as the next guy, or we may have a lot more than the next guy. In reality, here in America, I heard one time, if you're able to keep spare change at some place at home, then you're in the wealthy class in the world today. And I remember reading that and it shocked me. But that's the reality. And so a lot of people who have all the rights that we have, all the safety nets that we have, we put our trust and our faith in those. And oftentimes there's very little need to really cry out to the Lord because of all that we do have. All that we have can be a curse if it takes our faith, if that's where our faith goes. And we never really feel the need to depend on the Lord. Blessings to you today, and be willing to give up whatever you need to give up to follow the Lord wholeheartedly. Blessings.